The following is a movie review re-upload. Two for the price of one this week because I didn't do one last week. When you're done watching this video, you can watch past movie review videos. The playlist is in the description box, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel and smash that like button and click the notification bell. When you see a new video, you can check it out yourself. Time to go to work. The first of two movie reviews that are being re-uploaded this week is Creepshow, a movie that I first uploaded on YouTube on October the 20th of 2023. Check this out. Creepshow was released on November 12th, 1982. It's a horror comedy anthology film directed by George A. Romero, director of Night of the Living Dead and its sequel Dawn of the Dead, and written by Stephen King, making this the first film as a screenwriter. The movie had an all-star cast with Adrienne Barbeau, Ted Danson, Ed Harris, Leslie Nielsen, and Hal Holbrook, to name a few. The movie itself consisted of 5 short stories. Father's Day, about a family patriarch rising from the grave to get revenge on his daughters for murdering him to get his cake in the end. The lonesome death of Jordy Verrill, aka Weeds, where a meteor crash lands on this yokel's farm, where his skin is made contact with it, and everything, including his own self, turns into nothing but thick vegetation. Something That Tied You Over tells the story of a heartless millionaire sadistically murders his cheating wife and her lover by burying them neck deep in the sand as the rolling tide washes them away. But the two lovers would return from their watery graves to get vengeance on the evil bastard. The crate tells the story about this furry beast that eats its victims whole while stuffed in a wooden crate. This was where a professor decides to kill his abusive bitch wife by having this monster eat her. The final story is They're Creeping Up on You, where this misophobic business mogul living in hermetically sealed penthouse apartment filled with surveillance cameras and electric locks. Suddenly his whole place is filled with cockroaches and it overtakes him. In between the 5 shorts, we have a prologue where an abusive dad punishes his son for reading a horror comic book and threw it in the trash. And the epilogue sees the son getting revenge on the father by having a voodoo doll decorated as his dad's image, and he stabs it repeatedly in the neck. And the boy was having so much fun in the end. With a budget of $8 million to make, the film did $21 million in the box office. Creepshow knocked First Blood from the top spot in the film's opening weekend, and it remained the highest grossing horror movie for Warner Brothers ever made. I gave this movie an 80 out of 100, and I remember the first time I saw this movie. It was on WPIX Channel 11 where I was living in New York on October the 22nd, 1990. It still gives me nightmares to this day. The second and final of this double feature movie review re-upload is Creepshow 2. I originally uploaded this movie review back on October 27th of 2023. And I gave a fair but brutally honest review on this one. Creepshow 2 would be released on May 1st, 1987. It's another comedy horror anthology film directed by Michael Gornick, who did the cinematography for Creepshow. Now, due to budgetary bullshit, we only got 3 stories instead of 5. George A. Romero, who directed Creepshow, wrote the screenplay, and 3 stories are once again based on the shorts written by Stephen King. Old Chief Woodenhead is where a wooden Indian comes to life and avenges the murders of the owners of a general store at the hands of 3 thugs. The Raft tells the story where this blob-like creature devours a quartet of college students, all because they wanted to skip class and go swimming on a desolated lake. And then you got The Hitchhiker, a story about this adulterous businesswoman that ran down a hitchhiker, but decides to shrug it off, only for the hitchhiker to come back from the dead to haunt her to death in the end. The movie cost $3.5 million to make, and it only did $14 million in the box office, where nothing else to write about this film. I remembered it first being aired on WPIX Channel 11 in New York, where I was living at the time. July 25th, 1990 was the date. And that gave me nightmares as well. Not to mention that George A. Romero and Richard P. Rubinstein created that damn anthology series, Tales from the Dark Side, following the success of Creepshow. Because of the way the movie was cursed due to budget constraints and all that other shit, I gave that movie a 50 out of 100 rating. That's all for this week's Joe Lum's movie review, re-upload. I have another one coming up next week, same time, same place. As far as my next album review, re-upload, that's going to be coming up later today, so stay tuned for that one, folks.